They still gotta play us. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Don't run that ball on the one Hubbard, showed you how that go down. Feeling like Santino, tell him we want all the smoke now. We ain't snooping that commercial, we don't put no smoke down. Plus we back and you can't hide, so it ain't nowhere safe to go now. We always gon' turn up in that jungle every time. How we ain't gon' win when we loaded in with 9? Plus T just came in signed, so the city gon' be fine. Jamar say open every time and he ain't never lied. Look at how we win at it, the size of the old line. Giving Burrow extra time should be a federal crime. Hey, we right back on that path again. Put the division back to the test, they won't pass again. Orlando and Trent Brown, that's the Tower Twins. Feel like we only getting better as we stacking wins.
And we stacking.
Jaceki in for 6, that's a gritty again. AFC North battles getting gritty again. It's Yoshi second year, we just brought Burton in. Vaughn back to ring some bells, get the cracking again.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. Home of some of the best barbecue around. That's right, it's Midwest best barbecue. And I ask you the same question every single day. Have you been there yet? And if not, why the hell not? Get out to the Wards Corner Avenue exit, get you some Dillinator wings, some CTB wings, some Una wings. They actually have ribs every third Saturday. It is absolutely delicious. Take a dartboard and throw it at the menu. I guarantee you will like whatever it lands on. Also, tell Tim Nicole Ice sent you. Also, the show is brought to you by Meyer Window and Doors. Check them out at www.meyercincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. I got them in my house. You should get them in yours. And go check out Hail Marys for my West Side peeps. It's your ticket to the game right in the heart of Cheviot. Big ass TV screen, beer specials, food trucks, free parking. It's an awesome, awesome place. Again, that's Hail Marys, your ticket to the game. And come join me and Joe Farsing, Joe Schmo, live every Tuesday at the Moreland Lager House from 6 to 8. Happy hour starts at 3 o'clock. It's extended all the way till 9. What's that mean? That means $5 drafts, house wines, well drinks, and $2 off appetizers. We have a great time down there. We had Gabby Sorrentino. You got to say that. Tadione. She's from Fox 19. She was on there with us for 2 hours last week. We got some pretty good, cool guests coming up in the next couple weeks as well. So please make sure you check us out there live every Tuesday. And for every Bengals home game, I suggest you go to the best deal as far as tailgates. The Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell Moreland Lager House pregame experience. It's only $75 for 3 hours of open bar and a delicious buffet. And when I mean open bar, I mean open bar. Mixed drinks, well drinks, drafts, whatever you want, shots, whatever you want. It's for $75. You cannot beat this price, people. You can go down to the banks and go down there to different bars and jump around and stuff. You're going to spend $75 on 3 beers. You can get as many beers as you want. Now, I'm not saying, get obliterated, but you can get your money's worth and eat some delicious food. Go to Moreland Lager House's social media pages along with mine. The link is there to order your tickets for the next Bengals home game. And if you guys missed it last night, I have an awesome announcement. I am going to be working with Fox 19 and doing this podcast live, just like we do at Moreland Lager House. I'll be doing it live down at Newport on the levee right before Bengals Now. Bengals Now starts at 6 o'clock. I'm going to start my show at 4:30 on Wednesdays. Now, obviously, it's during football season. Joe Damon and Jebby Rao and Gabby will join me intermittently when they arrive there. We'll have maybe some Bengals guests. Who knows? Maybe I'll have some other cool guests on there myself. It's going to be an awesome, awesome time. If you have not been down to Bengals Now at Newport on the levee, I suggest you get down there. It is an absolute blast. It's a fun time. Orlando Brown was down there. Tyson Anderson was down there last night. We had so much fun. What is up to everybody in the chat? Who's in there first? So I think was Brad there first? Yep, Brad's in it. Brad beat Stranger. Ooh, I got to keep down the scoreboard there. But Brad's in there. Stranger's in there. Paul Painter's in there. Tony Blazin. And, yep, that's everybody. My usuals are in there. So, let's get to this. Let's get to my co-host for today. He's none other than Joe Schmo. Joe Farsi. Joe, what's going on, my man?
What's happening, brother? How are you?
Good. I like the new background. We were discussing this. I don't know if anybody noticed this, but I gotta give you a shout out. I like the new background. It looks. Not the other one looked bad, but that one looks good. I like that one.
I got all these really cool ass pictures that you can't see because they were, my back was to them, and I hated how my desk was set up. So instead of working, I moved my shit around so stuff would look better when I do podcasts. My wife appreciates that I'm spending work time for her setting up stuff for a
podcast that you don't get paid for. It's great. That's what I would do. Exactly.
Anything to make me look better.
Exactly. All right, let's get to our guest today. He is John Sheeran. He works for A to Z NFL. He also does the OBI podcast with the Godfather Anthony Cosenza. I call him the Brain. He's the Brain. John Sheeran. Oh, I hit that button. What's up, John?
There I am. How's it going, guys?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Long time no see. Huh? What do you got?
I'm being told that my picture is crooked by Paul, by the way. I knocked all this stuff around, so I apologize.
Yeah, you got to fix that. What's wrong with you?
There we go.
Jeez.
We're better now.
Is John's pictures all crooked, or his all good in the background too? Does everybody want to critique
I'm not
his?
fixing it. I'm just telling you.
Where's the skeleton at? I missed that.
He's right there. He's right behind me.
Is he? Oh, I see him now. My bad. I just saw the shirt. I didn't see him hanging back there. Anyway, so, all right, guys. So what I heard from Bengals practice today, Chase Brown was limited with a quad. Zach Moss, foot limited. Mike Gesicki, hamstring limited. They all played or practiced, but limited. Sounds like Sheldon Rankins is practice. Sounds like we are going to be the healthiest we've been probably ever because we had some injuries going into the season. John, what's your thoughts on how much this will help? Hopefully the defense with getting Sheldon Rankins back, because good God, we got to be able to keep people from scoring 30 points on us.
Yeah, I mean, him Sheldon specifically was supposed to be the key to getting some type of additional pass rush
Yeah.
aside from Trey Hendrickson. And the more Miles Murphy plays and gets healthier, I think he'll help along with that. And the pass rushing plan for Lamar Jackson and Daniel Jones is a little bit different in that regard. So hopefully, Rankins is out there for most of the game and he's pretty much 100% healthy. I think him being limited in practice means that they're just ramping him up. And if he's going to play, I would imagine that he's going to be good enough to play pretty close to the entire game. But even when he was healthy in the first couple weeks, his impact as a pass rusher was hardly kind of seen. Small sample size, be damned and whatnot. But yeah, it's been just a comedy of different guys going in and out at that defensive tackle group since he's been out. So having stability, having some type of continuity now with the faces and the names that you expected at the start of the season, it should be a net positive for sure. And like you said, I mean, this is even with Dax Hill now done for the year, his replacement is the guy that he was competing for a starting job. So DJ Turner may not have won that battle, but he was giving Dax Hill everything he could handle in training camp. So he's definitely, capable of providing some good games in there. So yeah, it's the best version of this Bengals defense that we've seen so far this year, just because you have all this depth from injuries and guys coming back from the first 4 weeks.
So what you're telling me is we're going to shut the Giants out, is what you're telling me.
Not even close.
You're saying this is the best the Bengals defense has looked. That is some Zach Carter erasure, and I'm not here to stand for it. No, I think you're absolutely right. Hey, Raiders thought enough of him. They signed him. I don't know if it's to their active roster or the practice squad, but no, Raiders are no one to really be, bragging
I wish they'd
about
just give us. I think the Raiders should give us Max Crosby. I think that would help.
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
But that would involve the Bengals having to trade, and we don't do that because we don't want to make other teams better.
Right. But if we get back to that would help. Anyway, all right. So with that being said, the way I've looked at this with the defense, and I think it's been more, I don't want to say, I guess, talent evaluation, but it's hard to say that when they've hit it on the offensive side. How can we be so good at talent evaluation on the offensive side and so poor at it on the defensive side this year? Like, is it, did they misread Geno Stone? Does Von Bell, is he really a step slow? What's your thoughts on why these guys are playing so bad, John?
It's tough to say because I think obviously the tape of Geno Stone last year was very great, but he was playing under a great defensive coordinator in Mike McDonald. And I've just been thinking about this, man. It's just when the Bengals defense was good, it's when they hit on free agency, not necessarily the draft in those 2021, 2022. And they hit it out of the park.
Yeah, they hit on everybody.
And it's not been the same in the past couple of years. And yeah, like naturally, cases like Geno Stone are why the Bengals historically veered away from free agency, because if you fit in one scheme in one team, it's not a guarantee that you're going to fit in this scheme. So these past 4 years have been a really good case study of even teams that have evolved and have try to prioritize free agency a little bit more. They're not always going to hit, but hitting on this free agency class was going to be so important. And so far, like you said, Geno Stone and Von Bell have not been anywhere close to what they need. And
for that part, Sheldon Rankins, I know he's been hurt, but even when he's in there, he didn't do anything really. So,
but the best version of this defense has always been when there's been quality safety play, and that was with a draft pick that was before Zach Taylor and Luna Rumo, and that was with a veteran safety who was still in his athletic prime in Von Bell, and they don't have that right now.
Mm-hmm. Joe, what you got?
Well, and a lot of this, it's the question about Geno Stone is whether, I don't want to say it's a bad fit. Bengals still have the smallest scouting department. Was there something that they missed that he was just completely, that his play was completely a prospect of playing opposite Kyle Hamilton? Kyle Hamilton makes plays literally all over the field at every level, rushing the passer in pass coverage and playing the run. I mean, again, I put not complete stock, but I mean, I put a fair amount of stock in Pro Football Focus because they grade every single play for each person, like not how the play actually, what actually happened on the play, but what each player did. And Geno Stone's had solid grades and coverage the last couple of years, and so that's.
It's head scratching. It doesn't make any sense.
It's because these aren't issues of square peg in a round hole. This is. No, the guy's leaving guys open, like he's just completely out of position in coverage. Or, if he's manned up on somebody, he's just not there. So do you think it's just an issue of scouting and they missed something and he was completely covered up by having Kyle Hamilton and solid corners in front of him? Or was this just he's having a bad, he's in a bad stretch right now, and hopefully will play better, as things settle down around him.
I don't want to take anything. Like, I feel like this conversation needs to be revolved around Jesse Bates is probably the best free safety in the league. And
Yeah,
for sure.
Anything going past that was going to be some type of a downgrade. And I feel like Lou, I mean, whomst among us in Lou Anarumo's position wouldn't feel comfortable just giving Jesse Bates all this responsibility and all this mental, task of making sure that everyone's on pace and be able to cover a lot of ground and just be able to just disguise these coverages in ways that just made the defense kind of work. And I feel like it's just been a constant battle of not getting that same level of trust in anyone who's filled in for him. And I feel like that's just how it's been. And it is, as decent as Geno Stone may end up being for the Bengals in these next 2 years, he's never going to be anywhere close to what just Jesse Bates was.
Yeah, and I don't think it was actually expected. I mean, I know I didn't. You can't replace Jesse Bates. I knew Geno Stone was not the best tackler, but I thought like Joe said, I thought his coverage. That was the thing where I thought he'd be at least we get back to having some kind of ball hawking safety along with Von Bell, and it hasn't happened at all. But to me, the biggest problem, and this goes hand in hand, we don't get any pressure on the quarterback at all. If Trey Hendrickson doesn't get there, we don't get there. So if you're not getting pressure on the quarterback, you're most likely not going to get a lot of interceptions because he's got all day to throw the ball. So that's another point to it is if Sheldon Rankins can come in and hopefully Miles Murphy, he played last week, if those guys can actually do something to get some pressure and take some of the double teams off of Trey Hendrickson, which would be nice, to get some pressure on the quarterback, that will hopefully help the secondary. But that I haven't seen any evidence that that's going to happen this year. I hope so, but I just haven't seen it on the field right now.
I think that's a great point because the team they're about to play, the Giants, really solid, really underrated, I feel like, defensive line. And they're not going to have Kayvon Thibodeau for this game. He's going to be out with a wrist injury. But Brian Burns is still really good off the edge. And Dexter Lawrence, I feel like, would be the most impactful addition the Bengals could possibly make if he was available. Because he's 340 pounds,
dude.
and he's like the best interior pass rusher in the game. It makes no sense how good he is. But the Giants are one of the best teams at generating pressure under 2.5 seconds, and when that happens, they also, I believe it's like a stat that Warren Sharp shared, like a havoc rate in terms of the rate of which your plays end up being sacks, tackles for loss, fumbles, whatever positive play results for the defense. They're number one in that, so they generate quick pressure and they're able to maximize off of it. And of course, the Bengals don't generate pressure at all, and they're, like you said, there's no impactful plays to be made. And impactful plays carried the Bengals defense at their peak. They were able to make red zone stops, they're able to have clutch turnovers, and a severe lack of pass rush outside of one, should be all pro is pretty much the big cause of that.
Right, exactly. Now, Gregor here, he says the Bengals had their hands full versus the Giants' 16th ranked defense, really good D-line. Now, a question for you guys, because I don't know this offhand. What is the Ravens? What are they ranked as far as defense? Do you guys know offhand?
Are
we talking just talking yards? Or are we talking points? Like in what metric?
I don't know because he said they're the 16th ranked.
I don't do
defense.
yards. I mainly do efficiency. And the Ravens entering last week were the number one defense in terms of rushing success rate allowed, but they were very poor against the pass, which explains how the Bengals were able to have success.
Right. So I mean, historically the Ravens have a very good defense. I mean, I'll put it to you this way: the Giants have a very good defense. We have an unbelievable offense. Their defense doesn't scare me. Maybe I'm too confident in the Bengals offense, but the way they're playing right now, I don't think there's a lot of teams out there that can really slow them down. So that's the part. I think we're in the same situation. I mean, and maybe they won't score 30 points this week, but we've had 4 consecutive games of them scoring 30 points or more, and we lost all 4. Or we won. Excuse me, take it back. We won 1, lost the other 3. The problem, and that's where I'm like, I don't think the Giants are going to stop our offense. It's the defense. What's your thoughts on my question? Long rounded question, but what's your thoughts on the Bengals offense versus the Giants defense? Are you worried about it, John, or are you kind of like me and think we're going to score?
No, I think that defensive line is legit, and I don't think that you're going to be able to block Lawrence with one of Volson, Karras, or Kappa. You're going to have extra attention on him, and there's going to be one-on-one situations for Brian Burns, who's going to go up against Marius Mims. If Marius Mims can have the best game of his career, very young career, then I think this offense has a good chance of picking apart the Giants' defense. Last week against the Seahawks, they were able to get to Geno Smith a couple of times, but when you're able to give your quarterback some time, I think there's some coverage bust that can be found against this Giants secondary, but that comes down to if there's pressure and disruption immediately off the snap, it's going to be up to the Bengals offensive line to kind of keep the going of how they've been playing for the first 5 weeks. But I feel like this is going to be probably their best test so far.
Right. Now, Amaris Mims, we saw him all get carted off the field, and then I don't know what time when he came back. I remember seeing his big ass out there. I'm like, holy crap, he's back. And I heard it's an ankle. Then they said it's a calf. Either way, he's been practicing, so that's a good sign that he will be playing. But it doesn't sound like he might be 100%. Does that concern you for the guys he's got to go against?
I mean, absolutely. I feel like I was nearly heartbroken when you got carted off the field.
Oh, dude.
It looked like the same
too.
ankle injury, or it looked like it was the same ankle that he injured
yep.
with Georgia, and now they're listing it as a calf. So, the more instances that happen with that, the more that he's unlikely to beat the injury-prone allegations, and that kills me because I love the kid and everything. But even an 80% version of Amarius Mims is still somehow an elite athlete, and that's what you need against a guy like Burns, who mainly just wins by running around the arc, and his bend is incredible, and he's a lot longer than I think people give him credit for. So that's going to be a great matchup because Mims can run you out to the outside like no one's business, but it's those inside counters that get him, and that's not typically where Brian Burns likes to win. So Burns might have to adjust against, like you said, like maybe an 85% version of Amarius Mims. It's going to be a great battle.
Yeah, I'm looking. I've watched focus on the right tackle more than I ever have probably in my life because I'm with you, John. I'm so excited for this kid. His height, his weight, his quickness. That's the part of how big this kid is. How fast his twitch is. How fast he gets out of his stance and gets out there. It's unbelievable. I mean, the Bengals, as long as he stays healthy, have hit a home run with him. Joe, what you got?
Does this seem like a game where I mean, I know the Bengals have been mixing more and more of it in. I didn't actually check the numbers, what it was last week, because they just had to keep scoring. But that they're probably going to have to do more 12 personnel, keep Eric All out there more in line to block or to chip, at least on Burns. I don't know how much Burns actually, if he moves around like Garrett, or if he usually just lines up over there on the left end. But I would assume this is probably going to keep guys in to help him, especially if Mims is at only 85% or wherever he is.
Yeah, I mean, Burns mainly just stays on the left edge. That's where they had Thibodeau on the right edge, and I don't know how they're going to replace. I don't know who's going to be next up in line. I think it's Azeez Ojulari.
Ojulari is listed, yeah,
out of Georgia. So there's maybe some familiarity with Amarius Mims. But what I'm also kind of interested in is that now that you have both Zach Moss and Chase Brown kind of dealing with some injuries, Moss has been really critical in pass protection in his own right. Burrow's kind of get him up there into the A gaps to make sure that there's no pressure up the middle. But I think the plan against
Hey, scared John.
Sorry.
What the hell was that?
Someone made a comment about my mouse and keyboard, so I had to
Jesus Christ.
point out. Oh, apparently I'm moving stuff around too.
Oh, good God. What are you doing?
I don't know.
What am I going to do with you?
I don't remember what I was saying. Zach Moss, pass protection, yeah. So, but yeah, if he's not necessarily 100%, how much reliance can they have on him, and is the pass protection plan going to be different when you have a guy like Lawrence? You're going to have to slide to him every single time, which leaves one-on-ones with Orlando Brown and Amarius Mims. Thankfully, the Bengals now have two tackles where you can be confident in leaving those guys on an island. So I feel like that can definitely help them in that regard. But no, I'm really interested to see how much Moss and Brown kind of play, if Brown even plays at all, because a midweek injury is never good.
Exactly. Now, I titled this, should Joe Burrow be considered for the MVP race? Or lead, and I know he's considered, but I mean, the lead MVP. Were you just hitting mute on your mic? What are you doing?
I'm trying, but they're moving everything around. I'm seeing if maybe I need to change the settings on my microphone so it's not picking up stuff from down
All I'm hearing
here.
is...
I'm playing around, man. Shut up. Here,
See what I have to deal with John Cheezel. So, all right. Let me try this again. I said, should Joe Burrow be considered for the MVP race? Of course he's going to be considered because of his numbers. My question is, should he be leading in the MVP race? I mean, it's his numbers are unbelievable. I mean, the narrative of the talking heads that he's average quarterback has got to get thrown out the window there. John, what's your thoughts on Burrow and his season and his chances of getting the MVP?
I always like to look at this from the opposite angle. Like if the Los Angeles Chargers were hypothetically 1-4 and Justin Herbert was lighting the league on fire, would Bengals fans be okay with him leading the charge of the MVP race?
No, because we say they wouldn't do that for us, which they're not. So,
like, I bring up Herbert because I feel like he has always been kind of like a weird sore spot for people, for Bengals fans, because like the Chargers don't necessarily win the most important games, but he's been a phenomenal quarterback for them. And now Burrow's kind of in this situation where he's being Superman and his defense is being anything but. So now everything is on him. But obviously, like, we should isolate the quarterback play, and it's just to see how valuable he is to his team. And the only reason why the Bengals have been close in all these losses is because the offense is playing at this level, and it's mostly because that Joe Burrow is playing at this level despite his wrist not being 100%. So of course his individual value is very high amongst everyone else in the league, and he's playing like arguably the best quarterback. But should he be the front runner for the MVP at 1-4? I don't think there's enough oomph behind that argument, and I feel like we have to take the opposite side view to kind of get a good look at that.
Yeah, I mean, that's where, because people at work have asked me that, and I said we're 1-4. He's not going to get it. It's because people ask, well, what if we just we have the season and it just goes downhill, but he keeps playing like this? I'm like, I don't think it's going to happen. But if we turn it around, then yeah, obviously, for sure, he'll be in there. Go ahead, Joe. You got something?
I was going to say, baseball's kind of gotten around letting or voting for guys on bad teams for Cy Young and MVP. Football, it's not that. It's going to be what quarterback is performing the best on a playoff, on one of the top playoff teams. Do his numbers and performance, and again, we're talking 5 weeks here. It's way premature to even be worried about that. I get on my son for asking me that stuff about who should be in the Heisman camp. Hang on, there's a large body of work that's missing.
A long way to go, right?
Now, I mean, if you extrapolate his numbers out, and if he plays this well for the rest of the season, and everyone carries the same thing, deserving is one thing, but if you're 6-11 or even 7-10, no, you're not going to get the votes. It's never mind that value is all relative. What are we voting for? Again, it's the best quarterback on a playoff caliber team, but the team has to be in playoff content. It has to be 10-7 or anything for him to have a chance. I mean, he's got the reputation that if the team gets there, yeah, he'll be definitely up in the
exactly
up in the conversation. It's not like he's overlooked by people that actually know what the hell they're talking about. I mean, non-Chris Canty guy, he doubled down on that stuff again. Just make it known that you've got an axe to grind,
or just make it known that nobody's listening to your radio show, and you're just saying some dumb shit so people will listen to it. I mean, because I listened to them last year when they first started. But I listen to a lot of podcasts. I kind of stopped listening to them, and then I started listening to them again. They started talking this crap. I'm going, all right, you must not be getting any ratings at all because makes no sense at all of what you're saying, and that's the only logical reason I can think to say it now. Greedy's like, oh, he's Mad Dog Canty. I'm like, no, he's Idiot Canty. I'm like, there's no reason to say this stuff. It's not even true. Yeah. It's frustrating. All right, so John, what is your feelings? Now, you know me. I'm always the eternal optimist. I can see if we make 1 or 2 stops a game, we could win these games, which is true. We could. I don't know if it's going to happen. What's your thoughts on the Bengals being able to salvage this season, turn it around? You got any hope at all?
Got some hope, I feel like, because it's hard for the defense to get worse, and
that's true.
I mean, their strength of schedule. I mean, this was a talking point before the season too. Now, obviously, the first 5 weeks, people thought 3-2 was inevitable with the quality opponents there, and all of a sudden the Commanders look really good, and the Panthers look better under Andy Dalton, and so on and so on. But the rest of the season, not a ton of juggernauts on their schedule, and particularly this next month is the biggest test of Lou Anarumo of maybe his career, just because there's no dominant offense that's ahead of them. There's no more Lamar Jacksons or Jaden Daniels that he has to have sleepless nights over because he doesn't have the personnel. You should be able to keep Daniel Jones under 30 points. You should be able to keep Deshaun Watson under. You should be able to keep Deshaun Watson under 10. But if they keep him under 20, that'll still be a win for this defense. If these problems continue to persist this month, it's going to be really hard for me to justify why Lou Anarumo will still be on staff in November and December. I feel like this is a huge month for him.
The amount of stuff that I'm going to throw if the game I get the Bengals offense is going to struggle against the Browns defense. I mean, they're extremely well coached, and their personnel fits better than probably any other team in terms of slowing the Bengals down. So I'm not expecting the Bengals to, score 35 points that game. But if they allow Deshaun Watson to go off and have a game where he's throwing for 250 and 2 or 3 touchdowns, I'm gonna throw legitimately anything that isn't bolted down across across the basement, across everything. I might throw the dog. I might, it's
Don't throw the dog. Leave the dog alone. The dog didn't do anything to you.
He's big and heavy. I'm not throwing him. I hurt myself.
Can he play defensive line?
Yeah,
I mean, he's built. I mean, he's an English bulldog, so he's stocky as hell. I mean, he could probably occupy a couple blockers at least.
Yeah, he showed me some pictures of his dog the other night. He's a big drooler, cute little.
They're dopey dogs.
Exactly. All right, let's see. Let's get Dustin here. John, I heard Sands make the argument that the Bengals don't value red chip talent. He thought up a thought-provoking topic. I thought red chip talent.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. I was hoping you would know, John. Huh?
Like, I really don't know what red chip is. If you meant blue chip, then I could understand.
Yeah,
But
I think probably.
I wonder if red chip is the guys behind, obviously you've got Chase and Burrow are blue chip guys, and maybe guys like Jesse Bates, T. Higgins, like the next level guys that they're just letting. That's kind of how I'm taking that.
yeah, okay, yeah. So like, not your absolute superstars, but still the guys that get paid a lot that aren't like the central. Yeah, I can see that. I feel like it's more along the lines of, in terms of like, do they value them? Do they do everything in their power to make sure that they get re-signed? And I feel like with Bates and now Higgins, those are the two most pressing examples. Yeah. It was about, if everything doesn't match up perfectly in the negotiating table, then we're not going to do this. We're not going to give away any ground. And that's continuing to kick them in the ass for like the past 50 years or however long free agency it's been, like 30 years, whatever. So yeah, like there's an argument to be made there. And that was why I was most shocked about, if they were so pressed about getting Chase signed, I cannot believe that they didn't do everything to make that happen, because he definitely fits along. He's the Joe Burrow wide receivers, and he's proving that every single week. So that remains their most confusing move, because I can understand if they don't want to do this with Bates and Higgins because they're not those guys, then that's fine. Like that's the crappy bet that you make. But to not be able to do that with Chase was the really most confounding part of it.
Yeah,
the infuriating.
The
infuriating thing is, what was the rationale for not signing Bates? You needed to have that money cleared up to sign Higgins and Chase, because those guys were coming in the next 2 years. And then now they made their offer, they drew their line in the sand, and they for Higgins, and they're not crossing the line, so he's going to walk. Like, so why did we let the best safety walk if you were going to let they don't? Their foresight is awful. Like it was obvious to anybody that the wide receiver market was going to explode, because you look at the guys that have come to the draft in the years, just a few years before. Just before Higgins and Chase, like those guys were going to get paid. I mean, they build on each other. So, not saying that they didn't expect the market, even for a number 2 receiver to go up to where, I don't even know where T. Higgins would be, 28 million maybe not that much, but at least over $20 million. Then it's just the disservice that nobody sees this stuff coming down the road, and you let someone who is Jesse Bates is a blue chip talent. I mean, come on, he's all-pro. He's the best free safety in the league. He was, obviously he was that guy. And last year,
knew that.
I think last year, his best year yet. But it's not as if he was chopped liver when he was here. It's just frustrating being a fan for Jeff can talk longer than I am, because he's a lot older than I am.
Damn.
Just jab that in a little more, Joe. God.
Just dealing with this crap like season after season. Well, we're not going to sign this guy because we're going to get this guy, and then that guy priced himself out. And
what cracks me up though is as I've said, like the Bengals always sign their superstars. Mike Brown always pays his guys, his especially ones that are on the offense. Like I go back to the '90s, we had all of our offensive guys paid, our skilled guys. He'd pay all this, wouldn't pay offensive linemen or anything like that. That's why I'm so surprised it has been so difficult to sign Joe. I thought they were going to sign them both, to be honest, because in Mike Brown's past, he's paid his wide receivers. That hasn't been a problem. He doesn't pay safeties. So that one I didn't expect him to do, but I did honestly expect him to sign T and Jamar. And now that T is most likely gone, and they're going to sign Jamar, but this being such a long, drawn-out process, it's actually kind of surprised me of how long it's taken to get this stuff done.
I also want to say I don't think it's as connected as some people think it is. Like I don't think it was they can't pay Bates because they wanted to pay Higgins, and they can't pay Higgins because we got it. I feel like they evaluated those guys as like players that they wanted to keep around. That's why the negotiations happened in the first place. But every negotiation to them is just a singular thing. It's very isolated, and if it doesn't work out, then it's like they throw their hands up and say, "All right, we're just gonna have to find a way to replace these guys." And replacing them usually costs more than just paying them in the first place, and that has continued to just blister them and just deteriorate.
Like if you just signed Jesse, because you signed Jesse Bates has got I think almost the same amount of money as Orlando Brown. Their contracts are money-wise are pretty similar, if I'm remembering that correctly. If you have them and you don't pay Nick Scott last year and you don't pay Geno Stone, you just give the money to Jesse Bates. It's fixed. You don't have to worry about this shit.
Not good.
Yeah, that seems pretty obvious to me. I don't know. All right, Crypt Keeper. Guys, seriously, I got to ask. I'm a fan of you all, and you know that. If we beat the Giants, are you going on the internet after the game? If we beat the Giants, yes, me and Joe will be on. If we lose, I don't know. Me and him could not go on after the Ravens game.
It's a Sunday night game, so I don't know if I'm gonna be on at 11:30.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I got kids that get up 2 days.
Yeah, that's right. I'll probably be on
work.
No, I'm off on Mondays, so I work Tuesday through Saturday, so Mondays I'm off. So we'll see. But see, now Brad's got a good one here. How many more losses until the Bengals tried to trade T to get something? If they haven't traded them by now, I don't think they're trading them.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's not. This ain't baseball. The Bengals yes, the Bengals traded and got B.J. Hill last year or 2 years ago. That was one of the greatest trades in Bengals history. But they don't trade people, So I would be shocked if he gets traded. I mean, what's your thoughts there, John?
He'll get traded if he pulls a Carlos Dunlap. Anything else other than that, it's not.
Yeah.
Other than that.
Do you think there's any chance that they tag and trade him next year? Obviously, I don't think he's gonna play for the Bengals under a second franchise tag. But do you think there's any chance they would do that, or would they just do the crappy way and get the least amount of value possible and just get the comp pick, the third round comp pick?
Here's the problem with that, because again, trading is the same with the Bengals as like signing a contract. It's negotiation that they don't want to lose.
Yeah.
And if they tag T. Higgins, knowing full well that T. Higgins is not going to want to play on the tag, and they don't get the offer in a trade that they want, then they're just going to have him, and he's not going to play. And then they're not going to cut their losses by just trading him for a compensation that they don't find valuable. These guys are lawyers that refuse to lose, and in doing so, they lose on the field.
Yeah, they never they're only going to make a trade if they know that they're absolutely killing it, like the Carson Palmer trade where they got essentially draft picks for Gio Bernard and Drake Kirkpatrick were the guys that they got for what did the Raiders have him for, a half year or was it a year and a half? I can't remember if he had a full year.
Shit, it almost might have been a half year. It wasn't that long.
I know it was next season, but I couldn't remember if he played another. If he was under contract for that next year, I'll have to look that up now.
He did, because the Bengals played him in 2012. So
yes, you're right.
Okay, that's right.
Yes.
That was didn't Geno obliterate him or something?
He did.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
Look at that smile by Johnny, because he did.
I was there.
So, hey, Crypt Keeper wants to. And are you, John? Are you banned from the pro shop?
As far as I know, yeah.
What did you do?
Don't know. I saw like a tweet that someone did about the pro shop, and I couldn't see it, and it was like, oh, I'll just click on this, and it said you're blocked. So someone from the pro shop, I guess, didn't like what I said, and I'm banned or blocked.
Okay.
Not banned from walking in.
Oh, okay. You're blocked. I got you.
The pro shop's Twitter account blocked me. I don't know.
You're so mean, John.
Tell like it is.
All right, so speaking of tell like it is, let's talk some Bearcats here. Why the hell did they move this game to Cincinnati? I mean, that's what I keep saying. I was like logistics. I'm like, but you're trying to play a game in Orlando when they just got done having a hurricane. The campus is closed. It's not going to open until Monday, but they're going to play a football game there. John, can you make any sense of this for me?
I didn't even know we were at UCF this week. I typically find out the game the day of, but that's not good. No, not at all.
I don't get it. I mean, it's like I don't even know if there's going to be any fans there. Is the stadium even playable? I mean, this whole thing is
That'll
crazy to
benefit
me.
the Bengals or Bearcats, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got. Well, first, there was no chance they were going to move that game to Cincinnati. They're not.
They
giving up
should
on
have,
it.
though.
I
There
could see
should
them
be.
possibly moving it up to, like, say, Jacksonville or something.
Or
where
move it
there's at least
somewhere.
right.
Move it somewhere.
I do have a friend who's actually down. Actually, it's someone through our to the riverfront. He's a student at UCF, and said that they didn't get hit too hard. They had highest winds up to 86 miles an hour, but just flooding and everything. And it's Florida, like it's a swamp. Like Orlando's built to handle a lot of water, so I would assume that it's going to be playable. It didn't hit as bad as in Orlando, as bad as it could have been. So I would have 100% expected the game's going to be there. It's dumb. They should have just, instead of having to wait until last minute, because there's so much equipment and players and the meeting and all that crap, just say screw it. We'll either try to reschedule it, which I know Neil said on Tuesday when he was with us at Lager House. Rescheduling really would have been hard to do because it would have had to be at the end of the year and trying to fit stuff in around, the
playoffs.
The playoffs, well, and the league championships and all that crap. And if it was a game that mattered for that, which I don't think it will, but yeah, it just should have been moved.
Yeah,
the decision should have been made earlier in the week. Just say, listen, we're not, there are other things the state of Florida needs to worry about than to have, something going on in Orlando. So
yeah,
whatever.
So yeah, Neil texted me and said that his flight, he was supposed to go out there, I think Wednesday. His flight got canceled, obviously. So I don't know if he's gonna make it down there or not. And for everybody who's wondering, my family's fine down there. They all survived it. So I mean, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's house, I think they have a big picture window. It got yanked out. But other than that, they have a tree down. Other than that, I don't know. Then my father-in-law's trailer, they couldn't get into the trailer park. It was still flooded, so I'm not sure the status of that. That was this morning before I took my nap. So, but they're all alive and healthy, so that's a good thing. So thanks for everybody for keeping them in your thoughts and prayers. So I just heard my own voice. What, Joe? What are you doing?
I'm trying to comment to Brad here without commenting on using your official tag thing. Like shut up! I'm adding another viewer to the thing, so I'm pulling it up on my phone. You worry about your own shit. I thought I had myself muted.
I'm getting. You're going to have to turn your mic down because I'm getting bangs on your keyboard and all kinds, and your chair squeaking and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that helps.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm moving where the microphone is, like.
John is a professional here. He doesn't have to deal with Anthony. All right, Anthony Cosenza is a godfather. He never messes anything up. Okay, isn't that right, John?
Yeah, his internet kind of bug out this past week, and he left me kind of isolated for 7 minutes. And I didn't realize he was gone like 3 minutes in until he texted me like, "Hey, my internet bugged out. Can you just keep going?" And I wasn't expecting to talk for 7 uninterrupted minutes. It was not a good look for me. But other than that, yeah, Anthony's been great.
Other than he's great.
I did have my remember my audio went out right when I had you and someone else on one of my shows, and I had to leave you guys for 2 minutes on a live. Or I think it was the draft, wasn't it, Jeff?
Oh, was it?
I was gonna say I had
was
you
it?
on. I think it was a live draft show that I had.
It might have been.
Yeah. My video or something went out as soon as I hit live.
You were having that was a couple shows in a row. You were having some serious issues, some mic issues, and some internet issues. So it got. I don't remember which one. Yeah, it's
it
happened.
happens to the best of us.
Well, I'll tell you this. This is a funny story. So the first time that I think it was first time. Well, first time I was on Bengals and Brews. I'll put you that way. So it was me and Dale, and we talked for a good 20 minutes. I mean, it was hard hitting, great sports content. I mean, you guys would have loved it, but he didn't hit start stream or anything, so nobody saw it. we laugh about that all the time. It's like it was so good, but nobody will ever see it because we didn't record it or put it out there. So, well, I mean, it's just like Tuesday night, John, our headset microphones all of a sudden went out, and I'm like, nobody could hear it. And that was that, and so when I do the live show there, I gotta make sure I click on the right thing in the settings so it recognizes the soundboard. Well, I didn't do that. So we're getting all kinds of echo. People are like, "It sounds like crap." I'm like, "It sounds good in the restaurant, but over the internet it sounded terrible." And my wife's trying to unplug and plug stuff in. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, it's always fun doing a live show, trying to figure out stuff. So, anyway, All right, so, John, do you have any thoughts on, go back to the Bearcats here, on the Bearcats season, and has Satterfield, do you think, saved his job? I mean, or is it still up in the air?
I'm still probably out on Satterfield until I see a little bit more. Sorsby, I'm very much in on, though.
Yes,
he's
Sorsby's good.
surprised me very, very plentiful. Xavier Henderson is the best receiver in college football. I won't be taking any questions about that. No, it's been really fun to see this offense kind of develop and grow from last year, and I think obviously having a better quarterback in there helps. But I want to see them, win a close game against a really good opponent, and just see if there's something to build off of next year, because I'm still looking for other coaches at the moment.
And can I ask you one quick question about go back to the Texas Tech game? How the hell is that not targeting? How the hell is it not a late hit? And why the hell did we get 10 seconds run off on us?
Mahomes made the call.
Bullshit! I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
There's no other explanation. I've never seen the clock run off or have a 10-second run off after a review that was wrong. That they didn't even call for it. It's just
right.
I don't know.
And 99% of the time, if it's targeted, they rarely ever overturn. I mean, they do, but they rarely overturn, or at least it's something.
They usually throw a flag for a personal foul, and then they say targeting, and then they'll review it, and then take the targeting away if they feel that it's not the other way. The problem is they only flagged it for targeting, and so when they decided, which was bullshit.
Well, how do you do that? You can't throw two flags.
Well, I mean, it's because it's a personal foul late hit, and then also targeting. You could say that it was targeting, whereas they just said it was targeting, and then I don't understand how they said it wasn't. I don't know. I
still don't know.
Yeah.
And how the hell are they allowed to throw tortillas onto the field all game long?
Imagine how many burritos are in need of something to roll up, and that's what I was thinking the entire time.
Makes me sad.
I know.
Because I was listening to Coach Satterfield's show, and he said, they were rolling up in balls and chucking it at him. And somebody, some Bearcat fan asked us, so that mean can we get hot dogs? She's like, not cheese conies, but just hot dogs, and just throw them on the field the entire game. Because they said it was supposed to only be like a kickoff. It wasn't just that kickoff. It was the entire freaking game that they kept throwing them. I'm like, I don't understand how are the fans not getting a penalty for this or something? Crazy thing I ever saw.
It seems like there should have been a warning. Like I don't know if UC just didn't complain, because I mean that's something that you can add, that you can like. They do it all the time when people are throwing snowballs and shit in the winter. There should have been something. Again, it's a tortilla. No one's going to get hurt, but it's just something distracting. I mean, you get an offensive lineman catch it out of the corner of their eye, and your quarterback gets absolutely blown up. And just dumb shit. Like, why are we still doing that? So yeah, I think Skyline should sponsor a wiener throw, and they're just throwing hot dogs and shit onto the field at next week versus homecoming versus Arizona State.
That's what we do is kickoff. We just chuck hot dogs at you.
Yeah.
Great. All right. John, Brad wants to know,
who
would you like to see coach UC football?
Jim Leonard. He was the interim for Wisconsin when Chris got fired. Chris got fired, then Fickle replaced him. Now he's the defensive backs coach for the Broncos, one of the best pass defenses in the league. Just a phenomenal defensive mind who's only 41 years old, deserves a shot to lead his own program.
There you go.
I would go back and tell Luke Fickell to leave for Notre Dame job, even when UC's heading into the playoffs, so they could keep Marcus Freeman and have him be the head coach. But we can't go back and do that.
You know what the funniest thing was? Because college football message boards are just absolutely crazy. It's just the wild, wild west. And when Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois, I saw someone said, I don't know, should we fire Freeman and hire Satterfield? And I started laughing my ass off, dude.
Yes, please.
Yes, please fire Freeman. Yes, fire him. We will take him back in a heartbeat. That's one thing that we all thought when Luke leaves that Freeman was going to be the guy. We didn't expect Freeman to get the head coaching job before Fick left. So that one. And
he didn't. He got he moved the year before, didn't he?
Yeah, he moved the year before,
but defensive coordinator for
but he got
for Brian Kelly.
Yeah, but he got the head coaching job before Fickle left.
Yeah,
that I didn't expect that to happen, to be honest, because I mean that's a huge. Normally you don't go from UC's defensive coordinator to Notre Dame's defensive coordinator to a head coach job. I mean, to a Notre Dame head coach job. I mean, that's a pretty Notre Dame. They usually want a well-known name. So that's why I was surprised.
He's a good recruiter. He's a really good recruiter.
Good recruiter. He's great. He's a hell of a coach. I mean, I would love to have kept him, but that's neither here nor there. So with that being said, with them going to play the game, you guys got a score prediction? What do you think is going to happen with the Bearcats versus Central Florida?
Go, Joe.
I think it's going to be a close game. I think Central Florida is going to win just because Bounce House is going to be crazy. People have been kind of sheltered up all week, at least all weekend for the because of the hurricane. So those students, and there's a shitload of students. I mean, that campus is huge. They're going to be loud. I think UCF's going to win. It's going to be a shootout. Natty Ron, I think you can double those points, and you're more in the ball game. I think they'll be in the 40s. I think RJ Harvey's a really good running back. I can't believe KJ Jefferson is still playing quarterback. I swear to God, I thought he was at Arkansas right after. I thought he was handing off to Darren McFadden. He was there for so long. But I mean, he's playing decent football. I mean, Sorsby's the better quarterback, but I just think they're gonna. I just think they're gonna run all over the Bearcats because Bearcats are not a good run defense. So.
Yeah, I actually covered Arkansas for a couple of years for like a side gig, and I was covering KJ Jefferson. And Arkansas, I feel like for the most part, let him down in a lot of games because their defense just wasn't up to SEC standards. So I'm glad he got another opportunity. I wish that the Bearcats didn't have to play him again because I still think he's pretty good and he's dangerous with the ball in his hands. But like I said, man, Sorsby is kind of taking me by surprise, and I feel like this offense is kind of rolling with him. So I'll agree with Joe in the sense like there will be a lot of points. But you know what? I think UC kind of pulls that some with like 35-31.
I would love to see that, but until Satterfield again pulls out a close win, it's just hard to. Yeah. Again, to keep going back, Marvin Lewis was here way too long, but he has some great quotes, and I see better than I
hear. See better than I hear.
So I've seen a lot of. Jeff and I saw the Pittsburgh game. I've got season tickets, and Jeff sat with me for the Pittsburgh game, and we watched that. We watched that game get pissed away.
I mean, to me, I'm encouraged by the Texas Tech game. I mean, if they didn't get injured, they would have won that freaking game. Or if they kick a field goal, they win, or make the field goal, they win. But I think UC's going to win. But I have to bring this in. We have a Chiefs fan in the comments here. He's coming in almost at the end of the game. And he doesn't think that Joe Burrow should be a MVP. And of course, a Chiefs fan's going to say that because, they're scared of us and Joe beat them, a lot. So anyway, I just had to put that up there for him. So, so the Chiefs fan could feel some love. He's on the board there. We'll see what happens.
I mean, for an illiterate guy, he spelled everything. I think all the words
then he said
correctly,
enough.
So
he fails us multiple times. I don't know if he's talking about from the Chiefs' perspective or the Bengals' perspective. Doesn't make any sense.
I think this is a troll. I might just.
I'm pretty sure it's a troll. Yes, I'm pretty sure. He probably typed it. And ran away like they're not going to put this up. I'm going to take them off again. Okay, whatever.
I don't care. Root for your team. Don't be some asswipe and bother everyone else's. Like I don't like.
Yeah.
You disappear. Oh, okay, there you go.
I'm back. My headphones went out.
Get your equipment fixed, damn it. This is live TV.
Hey, I'm not the one that's over there doing jumping jacks while we're doing the damn show and making all kinds of noise, okay? Just saying.
I'm trying to be the best commissioner of our fantasy football league as possible, and I had a trade to process, okay? These are things that are pressing. It doesn't wait for a live
live podcast.
Live podcast, okay.
Okay. He's back. What'd you say? A good QB wins when he has opportunity at the end of the game to ice it. Joe never done that. Really?
That's true. It's never happened.
Yeah. Not for him to make a play. No, but I mean, he did get them in position to kick.
He
a
is
field
talented
goal.
though.
Yeah, he is talented, and he did get him in position to kick a field goal to send us to the Super Bowl.
Maybe he's talking about me, not Burrow.
I think he is. I think he's talking about Joe.
I've never thrown a touchdown in the playoffs or anything like that. I would throw a lot of interceptions. I've got smaller. Like I know there were concerns about Burrow's hand size coming out. I think I've got small. I probably have smaller hands. I'm not a small guy, but I would assume I've got smaller hands. So I don't think I'd be as clutch.
He's definitely talking about Joe. He's definitely talking about you.
That's fine. I can eat it. I don't care.
All right, John. You've been over 55 minutes. I appreciate you, man. Go tell everyone where they can follow you and what you got coming up on the podcast and the articles you got on A to Z NFL.
Yeah, Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast 2 times a week. Me and Anthony Cosenza. A2Csports.com/Cincinnati. Sorry for my lighting. It's bad angle with the sun. I forgot to shut the blinds, so I will fade into the black here.
John the Brain Sheeran is out. Appreciate you, brother. He's referring to Joe Burrow, not you, Joe. Jeez,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good God.
You can understand my confusion because the other guy is.
I mean, what's wrong with you?
I don't know. My sincerest apologies, illiterate Chiefs Kingdom.
I cannot believe you didn't realize that he meant Joe Burrow and not Joe Farsing.
How about Joe Votto? I mean, Joey Votto's never thrown a clutch touchdown pass.
That's true. Joey Votto hasn't either.
So, I mean, Joe Morgan either?
No.
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he played football.
Joe Morgan might have back in the 60s or 70s.
No, yeah, that would have been the 50s and 60s. He's
50s,
old.
60s. Yeah, he's old.
Yeah.
Well, he passed away too. So
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you're not throwing a lot of touchdown passes from the grave.
No, that would be amazing if you could do
Maybe
that.
he's playing for the Saints.
Maybe you never know. Oh God,
He's not playing for the Duke Blue Devils.
All right, on that note, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I will see you next Tuesday, and maybe after the game. Probably not because you're old and you have kids and you can't stay up like I can.
I don't have some weird ass schedule where I work in the middle of the night or whatever the hell you do. So I've got
That's why I'm grumpy sometimes when I wake up. So
that's why you're grumpy.
and I'm old. So
Yeah.
All right, get out of here.
See ya.
See ya. All right, guys. I've enjoyed that as much as I did. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it as always. Do me a favor. Get out to Ward's Corner Avenue exit. Go check out Midwest Best Barbecue. Get you some CTB wings, some Uno wings, some G-Funk, award-winning G-Funk. Pulled pork sandwiches. They have brisket. They have ribs every third Saturday. It is absolutely delicious. Tell Tim Nicole I sent you. It's Midwest Best Barbecue. Also, the show is brought to you by Meyer Door and Windows. Check them out at www.meyercincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you give me yours. And my West Side peep. Go check out Hail Marys. Get your ticket to the game right in the heart of Cheviot. They have free parking, beer specials, big-ass TV screen, food trucks. It's an awesome, awesome place to check it out. And if you get there, tell them I sent you. It's Hail Marys, your ticket to the game. And live this coming Tuesday, join me and Joe Farsing live at the Moorline Lager House every Tuesday during football season from 6 to 8. Happy hour is extended. It starts from 3, goes till 9. What's that mean? It means $5 drafts, house wines, well drinks, and $2 off appetizers. It's from 3 o'clock till 9. You can't beat this deal. Come on down and enjoy the fun. And before each and every Bengals home game, join me at the Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell at Moorline Lager House, the pregame experience. It's 3 hours before every Bengals game. I can tell you guys this. It's the best deal around. It's $75. It's an open bar. Drafts, mixed drinks, well drinks, shots, whatever you want. You can get it there for $75. And they also have a delicious food spread. You can't beat this. I mean, if you go around to the banks, as I said, if you go to the banks, you go to different bars, you're going to spend $75 on 4 drinks. You're going to spend $75 and you can get 10 drinks. You know, I mean, it's an unbelievable deal. So come there, enjoy the fun. I do my live podcast there for about half hour, 45 minutes sometimes, and we have a DJ going on. We did the Gritty contest this last time. It is a lot of fun, so make sure you check out Moorline Lager House social media platforms and mine. We got the links for the tickets on there. Again, it's the Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell at Moorline Lager House, the pregame experience. And if you guys did not hear about it, I got another live event that I'm doing. Every day is live, but it's a live event. And I'll be doing it every Wednesday, right before Fox 19's Bengal Now. They record their show. They record the show at 6 o'clock on Wednesday. I will be doing my show live from 4:30 to 5:30. Joe, Jeremy, and Gabby will be down there walking around. They might join the show, talk for a little while. Maybe I'll get some Bengal players on. We're going to have a good time. So come on down from Bengals Now. Come early, hang out with me, And hopefully we'll be enjoying a Bengals win, which I think we're going to enjoy a Bengals win. I mean, we'll see what happens. And I meant to bring this up. Did you guys see this on Bengals social media? Are they trying to tell us something? Are they bringing, the old pumpkin head back? Like, I don't know. That's interesting. I saw that right before the show started. I would love them to do a throwback uniform. I mean, I love the striped helmets, but at least one time do a throwback uniform. So, you guys have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, it's going to be an old school show. It's going to be me and my boy. He used to be my seat neighbor. I moved, not him. I moved. Dale Altman will be on from Bengals and Brews. It's going to be me and him for a fun Football Friday show. Hasn't been on in a little while. Schedules haven't been able to match up, so I'm excited to have my boy back on. It's going to be a lot of fun, so check us out tomorrow. Like I said, we should be doing a post-game show. I say maybe it'll just be me. We'll find out. But definitely, we got the Monday show with Corey Dillon. I got the live event show at Moreland Lager House, a live event show at Newport on the Levee for the Bengals Now show. So I got a lot of cool stuff coming up here. Busy time of year. I really do think the Bengals are going to win. But I thought that for a while. You guys know me. I'm always looking at stuff with orange-colored sunglasses. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya!
They still gotta play us. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Hey, don't run that ball on the one hover, showed you how that go down. Feeling like Santino, tell him we want all the smoke now. We ain't snooping that commercial, we don't put no smoke down. Cause we back and you can't hide, so it ain't nowhere safe to go now. We always gon' turn up in that jungle every time. How we ain't gon' win when we loaded in with 9? Plus T just came in signed, so the city gon' be fine. Jamar say he open every time and he ain't never lied. Look at how we win at it, the size of the old line. Giving Burrow extra time should be a federal crime. Hey, we right back on that path again. Put the division back to the test, they won't pass again. Orlando and Trent Brown, that's the Tower Twins. Feel like we only getting better as we stacking wins.
And we stacking.
Jaceki in for 6, that's a gritty again. AFC North battles getting gritty again. It's Yoshi second year, we just brought Burton in. Vaughn back to ring some bells, get the cracking again.